back in 1970, so he's a very, very experienced rider, and he has formed in the last month or so a really wonderful combination with this horse.
Bill, in this Olympic competition in which you excelled, it's easy to understand because all scores are penalty scores. They're called faults. Most common is a knockdown. That's 4. Refusing a jump is 3, etc. Fall of a horse or rider is 8.
That's right. The first time you refuse is 3. The second time you refuse is 6. The third time you refuse is elimination. And if you exceed the time allowed, which on this occasion is 108 seconds, you get a quarter of a fault for every second or fraction thereof by which you exceed the time allowed. Time allowed is usually pretty tight in this kind of competition.
14 fences, 17 jumping efforts because of a double and a triple. So from America, Conrad Homfeld.
Makes a beautiful jump over the first fence. And you know, one of the things the riders wonder about, it's just like the baseball pitchers, I think. Do I have my good stuff today? It looks from the first couple of fences as if Abdullah has his good stuff today. I sure hope so.
Look how alert he is, ears pricked and ready for this, the final event.
It's no particular disadvantage in this competition to go early because the first round is really just qualifying the best 25 for the second round. You do carry forward your scores.
Clean up to this point.
Yeah, clear through that difficult combination.
Ooh.
But in the second round, then you go in the reverse order of fault. So the good riders get to go at the end. Those who have jumped clear rounds get to go at the end of the 25 who go over course B.
Through 7.
Big combination, this. Jumps in beautifully, makes 2 lovely short strides. No, he has he just had the last one down. And the funny thing is, that's the long distance, and he a little bit overrode it. Still, 4 is not going to be so bad today in this first round. There are not going to be a lot of clear rounds, I don't believe, Chris.
Here's the water jump now. Flagman on the far side.
He rides it in 7. I think that's the right way to ride it. Only the horses with the very longest strides can get there in 6. 2 more fences to go.
Seconds at this point. Very good. 99 seconds and only 1 knockdown, Bill Stein-Kraus, for Conrad Homfeld of the United States. 4 penalty points.
We'll see him back in the second round, I'm sure, Chris.
Because the top 25 and ties later today will then go in the second round, all battling for the gold, silver, and bronze. Abdullah, beautiful, beautiful stallion. We'll return to Santa Anita, where it's clear and beautiful and a sellout crowd. Don't go away. Conrad Homfeld of the United States. Paul Schackermüller of West Germany, one of the favorites here in the individual competition. Paul Schackermüller of West Germany. Let's get better acquainted with this up close and personal.
This is the Schackermüller family estate. It's been theirs for 450 years. It was inherited by Alvin Schackermüller, who won an individual gold medal in jumping at Montreal. His younger brother Paul shared a team silver with Alvin that year. Now with Alvin retired, it is Paul's turn to lead the West German team. Paul Schackermüller doesn't yet have a statue of his horse on the main street of Mühlen-Oldenburg like Alvin's world champion Warwick Rex. But Paul has built a large stable on 15 acres of land he bought from his brother. And now he has become the largest horse breeder and trader in West Germany. He estimates he owns 500 horses at any time and trades about 300 a year. That's a far cry from the small chicken farm he started at age 16 when he knew he would not inherit the family estate. He is now the biggest chicken farmer in his country and owns a farm in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania that produces 1 million eggs a year.
My favorite business is horse business because I like to work with horses. And the second favorite is the most successful one.
This empire encompasses more than chicken and horse farms. Schackermüller has construction, real estate, and machine companies. And a transportation company he says became profitable after he bought it from Alvin. He is aggressive in business, and he's no different in sport.
things he wants to do, he tries it very hard till he get there where he wanted to be. That is in his business, and that is in his writing. He's a type of this.
I think by nature I'm in some way a competitor. Even if I win, sometimes I'm not satisfied. A satisfied sportsman is no good competitor anymore.
Very good.
That same competitiveness is a trait 39-year-old Paul prizes in his favorite jumping horse, Deister.
Deister is a fighter. He's a competition horse as well. Sometimes I feel that he would like to win too. That makes us a quite good combination, I think.
On a normal day, Paul is joined at the ring by Harvey, his hunting dog, and his wife Barbara, herself a West German national jumping champion.
It's important to me that my wife is interested in horses as well, because I live very much with horses, and if she wouldn't be interested at all, I think living together would be more difficult. I spend a lot of time with business. So when I spend time with horses, it's a little bit spending time with her.
Intense time. To suit Paul Schakemüller, even his dog must be competitive.
You see how he fights?
Paul Schakemüller, 39 years old, and he and his partner, 13-year-old Deister, and a Bavarian gelding, they've been together a long time. And Bill, he'd like to do what his brother did in 1976 in Montreal, which we covered. Alvin winning the gold. And here's his brother, Paul. No clear rounds thus far. 4 faults or 1 knockdown, Conrad Holmfeld and Abdullah of the United States.
Yes, that would be quite an achievement for a brother act. You know, until now, the best brother act was Raimondo and Piero Dinzeo, who in Rome were first and second individually in the Olympic individual test.
Prior to Alvin winning the gold in Montreal, he had won the European Championship. So Paul, his brother, has the first half. He won last year's European title.
He'd already won it in 81, as a matter of fact, and he's won a couple of Grand Prix of Aachen. He really has won a little bit of everything. He's certainly the strongest single individual in Europe at the moment. And this is a fabulous horse.
So alert.
So alert, he can use both ends. He can go off a long stride or go off a short stride. Second fence is tough. It comes very early. It's very square. It's not spread that much, but I'm surprised to see Deister hit it. Yes, I would expect to see some of the lesser horses hit it, but not Deister. Time allowed is fairly tight here. It's 108 seconds. Some horses will have time faults. The good riders like Paul rarely do.
And now, second fence down, 8 faults.
Maybe not Paul's day, right?
May not be.
8 may still get into the 25 that go back for the second round, but 8 is not going to be on the front end. There will be some clear rounds today.
2 rounds. This is the first 51 starters. In this round, then they cut the field to the top 25 and seed them.
He jumped the 3 combination beautifully, and that's been very hard to jump today. You can see the class of this combination.
Especially there on number 9. Touches or rubs do not count. Knockdowns, of course, do. Now the water. Refusals, 3 faults. Second, 6th, third elimination. Very simple Grand Prix show jumping. That's why it's so well received all parts of the world.
That's right. There's no subjectivity involved. It's completely objective, and the public can tell very easily what's going on. Well inside the time allowed, but 8 faults for Paul Schakemüller. He'll come back in the 25, perhaps.
Paul Schakemüller, who says, yes, he is a millionaire by any currency standard, and that's quite a compliment. Okay, we'll return to Santa Anita on this perfect day for the final event in the equestrian competition, individual Grand Prix show jump. Jessica, the rider Heidi Robiani of Switzerland, who had a clear round in the team competition. This is the first round of the individual Grand Prix show jumping.
And Chris, you can leave this mare in my barn anytime you like. I just adore her. She's 10 years old. She's already been on a European Championship team. She was on the team that she jumped 2 clear rounds in the Nations Cup at Aachen this year. and she is just a wonderful, wonderful mare. Heidi Robiani sounds like a curious name for a Swiss person, and immediately you say, well, she must be from the Italian part of Switzerland. In fact, her name was Heidi Haury. She's the sister of Max Haury, who rode many times on the Swiss team.
Now going to the fourth fence, clear. Low round thus far, Conrad Holmfeld of the United States. 1 knockdown, 4 penalty points.
The smart people this morning said there might be 4 or 5 clear rounds over this course, and there will not be a great many. This is one of the real possibilities for one.
Men and women competing on equal terms. This is one of 2 in this field of 51. Heidi Robiani. The other is Melanie Smith of the USA.
She has all the equipment to jump this course cleanly, and she's got the right horse. But it's not to be. Look at what she did with her hind legs over the third fence. She tries so hard to jump cleanly. She can bend both ends. She can bend her hocks. She's got a marvelous jumping technique, this mare. And the nice thing is, if you owned her, then you could breed her, and you could have another generation of Jessicas to play with.
Bill, joint possession. 6 months in Connecticut, 6 months in Indiana for this mare. Okay?
It's a deal, Chris.
It's a deal.
Very good. Look at the way she jumped 13. She was
beautiful.
2 feet over it. Good round going. Clear again. 4 faults. She ties Conrad Holmfeld.
Yes.
Only 4 faults for the round over this very, very difficult course.
Heidi Robiani, 5'7", 165 pounds, 33 years old, and you saw not only one talented animal, you saw 2. Heidi and Jessica. We'll be back with more at Santa Anita, the final event in the equestrian competition of these Olympic Games. Aramis.
Aramis, only a 7-year-old bay gelding, and surely the Germans say, why did we ever let this horse go out of Germany? Because he looks like a world beater. He tortured them when he came back to the World Cup finals, actually, in Göteborg, and won it with young Mario. But Mario had already shown us in North America last year that he was a world-class rider with this horse. He won the President's Cup in Washington. He was the leading international rider in New York, and he is one tough customer. He's got a lot of confidence in this horse. The horse has all the ability in the world. That long stride is just effortless for him. He takes a long stride so easily that he may leave out some strides on this course, and he is a very real threat to jump a clear round. Didn't go so well in the Nations Cup. He had an 8 and then a 16.5. But I would say whatever nerves Mario may have experienced in the Nations Cup, I think are under control now. And he's still working on a clear. First big question,
rhythm, Bill.
First big question is that 3 combination. This is a tough line for him. He's got to get to the water right, and this horse takes such a long stride that he could override the water quite easily.
19 years old.
He rides it absolutely perfectly.
Coming to 12 and clear. Still clear.
Still clear, and the last 2 fences are not impossible to jump cleanly at all. Looks like our first clear. What a jump he made over 13. But it fell. He stood back too far at that. So it's another 4, the third 4-fault round to join Conrad Holmfeld and Heidi Robiani.
Mario Delorier of Bromont, Canada, where the 76 games, the equestrian competition at that location. 19 years old on the 7-year-old bay gelding, Hanoverian. He is a 7-year-old, a big one and a good one. We're going to return to Santa Anita for this final day of competition. 35 years old yesterday. He's riding Arturo, a 9-year-old brown gelding, a half New Zealand thoroughbred.
I'm sure he'd like to give himself a birthday present today, just belatedly 1 day late, with a clear round here. He has probably the experience to do it, and nobody can tell the New Zealanders short. You know what Mark Todd did in the 3-day event individually?
A gold. And in their customary black coats.
But 3 comes down, unfortunately, so clear round is not going to be his fate today. Maybe only a 4 would be. It's already 1:28, Chris. Doesn't look like it.